story time on why I'm terrified of trees. So I was in grade school, right? And usually when you're in grade school, you don't really feel awkward. Like, you can get bullied, but it's not like severe. It's like 2017 getting bullied, It's like the L sign or stuff like that. And at grade school, you're like really fun. Well, it wasn't really heavy for me. And keep in mind, I still go to this school. So, before all this, I just wanted to say that I live in a forest, basically. Like, it's my house and I have neighbors, but then I have a fence leading to a forest. And I loved trees at the time. I just didn't really pay attention to them. I didn't pay attention to them at all. So I didn't really care for trees, but I loved them. Like, they were like a part of my elementary school life, I called them. And I cared about like Mother Nature, but I always called it Daddy Nature. Not Daddy Nature, Dada Nature, because I don't know. I call it Dada Nature because I was changing at the time. So if you said, "Oh, I'm a boy," I would say, "Oh, you're a girl." Cool. But I knew you were a boy. I was just like different at the time. So I loved differences. So if you were a boy and you wanted to be a girl, I would love helping you with that. See, I never really worked. I always wanted to be a therapist. But why I'm scared of trees is because, here's the point, I live next to a forest. So if you go in my backyard and like open a gate, it's just a forest. And so one day, I finally decide that I'm going to face my fears. I go out into the forest. The same day later, my whole house starts shaking. Like, and we hear, and my mom and me walk outside. I'm so creepy. I like stand there while the trees like, we're all in the basement this time. We run to the basement, this tree falls onto my house, and that's not even why I'm mostly scared of it. It's because, hold on. It's because once I almost, well, almost. When I was sitting next to the window, I was sitting next to the window, by the way, and I was looking at the tree. I was looking outside, right? Because I told you I'm a nature girl, and I see like the tree started bending, and one of these kids were outside. So my school window was open, and because it was like a really hot day, so the AC wasn't working. It was really cold in there, so it was a hot day. So we opened the AC. And we opened the window, and I screamed, "Kid, watch out!" This kid looks at me. The tree starts bending more. He turns around and like starts to run near the school door. Luckily, this is the school, and this is like the tree. It was like fell onto this side, so it didn't hit the school. But like, I'm crying. Chukwuneka's crying. I was shocked. I didn't believe this has happened. And every time it's windy outside, I run to my basement. Like, I don't think twice about going outside. But and here's another story time. Story time on how someone actually got to date me when I was 8 years old. So I'm in 3rd grade, right? Well, at the time. And we're just gonna call this dude Michael, because everyone hates a Michael. So one day, Michael says to me, I want to date you, big girl. And I don't know what I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I'm like, sure. And later he calls me really mean things. And I tell my parents, and I got in trouble for that, for dating him, but like, that was aside the point. No one really cared. We just cared about beating Michael. So at the time, Michael was in my school. He was in a higher grade than me. I think he always was, but he did not pay attention to me really. He only paid attention to this girl. We're gonna name her Patricia. Patricia always made me jealous. Like, she never paid attention to anyone except for Daddy's money, and obviously Michael. But Michael, she would always like slap him, like it was some joke or something. But one day, I think Justin got sick of it and started like throwing people across rooms. Well, not really throwing people, hitting. But it was like insane. And he walks up to me, and I know what's about to happen. It was like really fast. I had to run. But like this man came to me, slapped me in the face. Well, almost at least. And he said, "How dare you dodge that?" Then hit me with another one. Didn't hit me though. And see, I was like really good because my grandpa used to be in the army and the one that shot the cannons. So I knew self-defense, and my dad was a welder, so like I knew self-defense. But see, I never got to use self-defense because, yeah, I could only use self-defense when I was like 10, but I only got to learn when I was 10, and I still don't use it because I'm 13. But I don't really pay attention to those like stalker people or a mega or anything like that. Mega. But I didn't really pay attention to that creepy stuff because, yeah. And yeah, so at that time I was just like done with life. So we just chilled in my room, and then when my best friend calls me, we're gonna name him, we're just gonna name him his real name. His name was Preston. So we're gonna name So Preston called me, and he was with Justin. But keep in mind, Preston's mom hated Justin, but he still let him see him because Preston's mom is like really generous. So while I'm like alone at the school waiting for Preston and Justin pull up. Come back for part 2.